Hello, good night. Welcome to another episode of As in the Days of Noah. As you all know, we're at the evangelistic series at Sunrise SDA with Evangelist Skeete. And tonight's topic was That Man Goes to the Extreme. As the ministry's name, as in the days of Noah, the evangelist started from Genesis chapter 6, which he illustrated that Noah did all that God commanded him. And he went to Deuteronomy 6:25, which says that it shall be our righteousness if we do all that the Lord had commanded us. And so tonight's message is we have to rise to a righteousness that exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, a deeper righteousness, a righteousness that is the source of that righteousness is Christ himself. And he points us to the law of God, which is the standard of righteousness for all beings living on planet Earth. And so, my dear friends, let us by God's grace rise to that standard of righteousness only by the indwelling grace and power of God. And so I want to encourage each and every one of us tonight on another episode of In the Days of Noah. You see, in the days of Noah, the earth was full of violence and it was corrupt. But Noah found grace in the eyes of God. So today we might be living in a world that is corrupt, full of violence and iniquity. But we, through God's grace, can find grace in God's sight by right doing. And what points out right doing? The law of God is the standard for all right doing and righteousness. So my dear friends, I encourage us, let us by God's grace, let us by his power obey his word. John, in the book of John chapter 15 and verse 14, Jesus says, if ye love me, keep my commandments. And in the book of 1 John he says, listen, this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. His commandments is the standard for all righteousness. And so, beloved friends, by God's grace, we can be obedient to God. The psalmist says in Psalms 40 verse 8, I delight to do thy will, O my God, yea, thy law is within my heart. When we have the law of God in our heart, we have the standard of righteousness within our heart. Psalms 119, 172, the Bible says, my tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. So I'm encouraging all of us, let us keep all God's commandments, and it shall be our righteousness.